On today's episode of Colts Talk, I think there's a chance Indy can get pretty crazy here in free agency. Yep, it could still happen. Plus, ESPN gave another draft target for Colts fans to take a look at. We're going to hear from you on that one. Let's get into it. At this point in time, even after free agency, the Colts' biggest offseason need remains an edge rusher, an edge, defensive end, a guy to get after the quarterback. Yes, they made their additions, Arden Key, Michael Clemens, some other names to go along with that. And yes, the draft is still ahead of us. I think there's still an opportunity in free agency for the Colts to go out and make a major move to really mix it up with what's left of NFL free agency. Yes, we're still in it, right? It's not done. It's just that initial period is over. And big reminder, these guys were in on Trey Hendrickson at the finish. They were making offers the day Trey Hendrickson signed with the Ravens or agreed to sign with the Ravens. They wanted Trey Hendrickson. They had the money lined up to pay Trey Hendrickson. They were going to go for it with an edge rusher, and specifically Trey Hendrickson. It was, feeling like he was going to be a Colt. There is no reason that the Indianapolis Colts can now pivot, take their money, and go get Joey Bosa. That is my plan. That is my crazy move. Call it crazy if you want. They should be able to get this bad boy done. Just under $14 million a year to go get a guy that wreaked havoc for the Buffalo Bills last season. This would be a perfect fit for the Colts. You wouldn't overpay. You probably aren't going to do multiple years, and you get your game wrecker, right? That would work for Indy. They just have to muscle the opportunity and the courage and whatever else you want to call it. Go get this dude, right? Bosa, who we predicted would go to the 49ers and or another team that overpaid him, it still has not happened. He remains a free agent at this point in time. I honestly can't explain it. It is a little confusing why he's still a free agent. I don't know if he's looking for more money than what the market is dictating. I don't know if he, wants to go to San Francisco, but they have to wait for Myles Garrett moves or this, that, the other. I'm not really sure what the holdup is. It's starting to give me more and more and more hope that the Colts could really pivot, rearrange, gather themselves a little bit, and get the edge rusher that we all thought they were going to get. Seems like a real opportunity for them at this point in time. However, what do you guys think? Percent chance the Colts sign Joey Bosa. He's still on the market. They still need an edge rusher. Give me a percentage in the comments section right now. All right, let's keep it crazy here on Colts Talk today. Some free agency moves that the Colts could kind of get into, something we could see them do coming up here. I think it's a good opportunity when we're talking about looking at free agency and getting a little interesting, so to speak. Backup quarterback 2, Daniel Jones. I think this is something you really have to take a look at. So you look at the QB depth chart as of right now. I don't know if messy is the word. I'll go with interesting. It's an interesting group that you have there outside your quarterback who's still recovering from an Achilles injury, your quarterback who's been granted trade permission, and then your quarterback who's barely played NFL football and, should be noted, got hurt last season. You had to go get Phillip Rivers. Riley Leonard seems to be the fans' quarterback too, right? Colts Nation loves him. Really see that a lot, that you don't need a backup. You have Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard hasn't played much NFL football, and he hasn't played good NFL football yet. I'm not writing him off. I'm not ending his career right here, right now, but I definitely am not handing him the keys to Daniel Jones goes down. Daniel Jones can't start the season. You're looking at 4, 5, 6 starts for a team that invested a lot to be competitive. Can you bank on Riley Leonard being a guy that wins you, 3 out of 6 games, 3 out of 7 games, competes, keeps you in it? Is that Riley Leonard? I don't personally think so. Anthony Richardson, he can't be in your building. I had this take the other day, and it's over. There is no come back to camp. Let's forget all that. Let's get you back on track. Good to see you, Coach Steichen. Anthony, you look great. It's not a thing. It can't be a thing. He wants a trade. You want to trade him. You gave him permission to seek a trade. Let him go do that and let him know when he finds one, he's welcome to leave town. Both of those scenarios outside, again, a quarterback who's recovering from a major Achilles injury and a broken fibula leads me to believe you have to go into free agency and look for a backup quarterback. You have to. And to me, in the present day NFL, maybe not 10 years ago, maybe not 5 years ago, a backup quarterback that should be somebody that can play 10 plus games for you, 5 plus games for you at a real high level and win games. Now, is it your franchise quarterback? Obviously not. I think the greatest example right now is Joe Burrow. Joe Flacco for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow goes down. Joe Flacco keeps them competitive, keeps them in it, gives the Bengals a chance, keeps them in the race, wins a couple big games. That's what a quarterback 2 should do for you. And again, I don't know that Daniel Jones is playing week 1. You start the season off, you're just going to let Riley Leonard give him the keys to the car and say, go? You can't do that. You can't have it. You have to have a real quarterback, and you want them to have acclimation period with the Colts, right? Get them in the building, get them comfortable. And as I said, should be able to win you games while they're playing for you, not just like don't make it look bad until Daniel Jones gets back. No, it should be a real quarterback that can win games for you. One name I've said before, another name that they have to consider, the 2 backup quarterbacks still on the free agent market right now, Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson. Obviously, Russell Wilson, a little more leaned into the I'm a backup, I've lived life as a backup, I can be a backup for your team. Feels like he got into that last year for the Giants. Kirk has a very interesting thing going because it was like Atlanta way overpaid him, played, then it was Penix, then Penix not good, now back to Kirk, and it's just like, I don't know if he's ready to accept he's a backup quarterback. Maybe he is. And I've said this for Joe Flacco too. Maybe you come to him and say, we just don't know what's going to happen, and we need a guy that may need to play. And that's the pitch to him or Russell Wilson. I'm a Russell Wilson guy. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be interesting. Might be a little Seahawks nostalgia for me personally. I'm a Russell Wilson guy, but if you guys had to pick the Colts' next backup quarterback between these 2 veterans, would it be Russell Wilson? Can type 1 or Kirk Cousins? Can type 2? Let us know right now. All right, we'll finish off with some draft stuff, some interesting things coming out from ESPN. They dropped an article breaking down every team's 2026 draft needs, what their draft needs are, why, how they can fill them, what they should be looking for. Interesting stuff, right? Especially for a team outside the first round. It's definitely notable. And confirmed earlier, by the way, we talked about this. Needs. Edge rusher. Yes, still a need for the draft, for the offseason, for this team in general. Linebacker have not gotten younger and faster. All you've done is trade away Zaire Franklin. You still have to replace Zaire Franklin. I'm sorry, this is a pat the back moment for me because I spent the first half of this video hammering edge rusher. I read the Chris Ballard quote all the time about linebacker and defense getting younger faster. And I've been hammering the table about needing a wide receiver 2, a real wide receiver 2. ESPN thought the exact same thing. A little bit of a notes or breakdown from Stephen Holder specifically on what the Colts are looking at. The Colts' underwhelming record of drafting edge rushers is inescapable, especially in a year where they lack a first-round pick. Their history of discovering linebacker gems is much more encouraging, and they'll need a couple of hits given the serious lack of depth there. So that's kind of a round insight of what the Colts are looking at going with the pick number 47 in the second round. So they'll have to wait, read it out, and make their selection. Time to hear from the fans, the people watching, the people interested in Colts Talk. Name a player you want the Colts to draft. Could be at 47, could be Mr. Irrelevant. Whoever you want the Colts to draft, give me a name, give me a player. Give it to me right now. All right, so ESPN in this article listed, it's specifically worked for the Colts, players that can fill a need outside the top 10, right? So essentially like not your first rounder, but can fill a need for you guys. Josiah Trotter from Missouri, the son of Jeremiah Trotter, the legendary Eagle, the brother of Jeremiah Trotter Jr., who I believe is an Eagle as of right now also. So yes, you're going linebacker. No surprise here, right? We've talked a ton about fit of linebacker, need of linebacker, names at linebacker. Yes, this seems to be relevant in general for the Colts. Seems like that pick is going to be a linebacker. This is a tackler. This is a get after the ball guy, not a coverage guy. He has a serious lack of playmaking at the coverage position and just not really going to drop back for you and like give you the utmost and do the utmost best for you. Another note for him, I thought he stepped up and played really well going from West Virginia to SEC football. And Missouri off to a hot start, had a pretty good year, and I thought he helped them do that and was definitely a part of them doing that. So here we are, pick number 47, linebacker, right? We've talked about so many times. At this point, I think D'Angelo Pons is the only one we haven't, outside linebackers that we haven't talked about much at 47. Maybe our Mason Thomas or an edge rusher a little bit that we've gotten into. There's been a lot of linebacker talk. And again, Trotter plays OG football, mean football, get to the ball, hit him hard, get to him quickly, knock over anybody in your way. It's not the usual sideline to sideline speed, ball tracker. It's balls over there, let me knock his head off. And sometimes that's the reason these guys struggle in coverage, but that speed is going to work for you. That ability to hit somebody hard and take people down is going to work for you. And again, you're getting younger at the linebacker position. Now, I will note, Trotter is one of multiple options, right? We already hit on that we've talked Trotter today, but in the past, we've talked multiple other options that the Colts are going to have with that 47th pick. I got to be honest, guys, it works out really, really well. You need a linebacker. These guys should be available-ish at 47. And when I say available-ish, that just means like, hey, 2 aren't there. Look at your next 2. So Anthony Hill Jr., probably the top guy. We've talked a ton of Jake Golday, Josiah Trotter, very good player we discussed today, and then Jacob Rodriguez in the Heisman talks at linebacker. So again, 47 feels like a linebacker, feels like one of these 4 guys here. Before we close out, I want to let you guys know, easy. If you want more Colts draft coverage, the draft gets closer and closer. Easy and free. Hit that sub button.